Listen up, man. You read the title, right? Semen retention will accelerate your spiritual ascension. Yes, sir. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. The practice of semen retention and the path of celibacy will accelerate your spiritual ascension. And you might be wondering, okay, man, how fast does this shit accelerate it? Is it 30 miles an hour, 40, 55? How fast am I going in this bitch? Well, relax. Relax. Relax, my guy. Just take a deep breath, because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this whole journey of using semen retention and using celibacy as a tool to uplift you to your higher states of consciousness is the fact that this practice in itself is what I just said, a tool just for that. It isn't the vehicle, but it is a tool to supercharge your vehicle. The vehicle in itself is called the path of self-mastery, which requires you to unlock the mind, purify the body, and awaken the soul. This is how you actually transcend to higher states of consciousness and make you actually realize who and what you are beyond just the brain and body. This is what self-mastery is. And semen retention, celibacy, is a key crucial component to it. It acts as a super fuel for it, a superfood and a super fuel for it. If you nourish yourself, your mind, body, and soul with the purifying elements of this practice, it will propel you much quicker. It will accelerate you much quicker towards your spiritual ascension. And this is due to the fact that your carnal mind, aka the stages of consciousness, your lower three chakras, your lower three planes of existence that are only focused on survival, sex, and status, if those three are the ones that are dominant within your psyche, they're dominating your thoughts, they're dominating your decisions, and they're dictating the choices you make in life, you always will be disconnected to that bridge, to that gateway that will bring you back to godhood. Not due to the fact that, oh man, survival, sex, and status is evil or bad, but those are lower states of consciousness compared to what you could potentially tap into as a human being. You see, an animal, all it cares about is survival, sex, and status. The human has the animal within him, but it also has access to the God within him. Instincts rule the animal. Intuition guides the divine within you. You are in the middle. You are in the middle using intellect as a human being to either ascend spiritually or descend and de-evolve back into the depths of degeneracy by letting your compulsive nature dictate your decisions. This is why the Maya, the Matrix, the illusion, the material world will use your biological instincts for survival, sex, and status against you. It will turn this into a shackle. It will turn this into bondage. In order for you to break free from that, you must learn to transcend it, go beyond it, not be controlled by it, not be controlled by survival, not be controlled by your sexual cravings, not be controlled by status and pursuits that only propel the ego, that only propagate me, 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 me. When you practice semen retention, when you're on this path of celibacy, you're breaking off one of the strongest chains, one of the strongest links that keeps you stuck to your lower states of consciousness. Because lust is one thing that you can all admit, all of us, I'm admitting it, everybody, no shame. Like I'm Oprah Winfrey, you're admitting it, you're admitting it, you're admitting it. Let's be honest, let's keep it a buck like a goddamn dollar store. Lust, within the modern day age that we're living in, is one of the biggest links, the strongest fucking links that keeps us tethered to our lower states of consciousness. You go look at a girl with a bikini on right now, you stop thinking with your head up here. You start thinking with your head down there. You know what I'm saying? your third leg. Instead of thinking with your third eye, you're thinking with your third leg. You start to live like an animal, only seeking those thrills that satisfy the senses. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you make that the pinnacle of life, that's basically propagating you to know better than an animal. Because an animal can only ascend to those stages of survival, sex, and status. If it got that, man, it's chilling. It has completed its dharma, aka its divine duty, why it was brought here. You as a human, you came here for a much bigger reason and a much bigger purpose than just fucking survival, sex, and status. If that was the case, you would have came here as an animal. The universe is much smarter than you might think. God don't make mistakes. Out of the 400 million sperm cells in your dad's nutsack, you were the one that made it, and you're telling me out of that 1 in 400 million chance, you just came here for survival, sex, and status to just satisfy your senses? Absolutely not. So what is it that you came here for? It's your dharma. It is your duty. It is your spiritual purpose that will lead you to a life of true fulfillment, that will lead you to a life of true liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from the confines of this material world. Liberation from the confines of the brain and body. Instead of the brain and body acting as shackles, acting as handcuffs that keeps your higher self in chains, the body and brain now start to become blueprints for you to unfold yourself to a literal divine beacon of light, who you've always been and who you've always were meant to be, beyond just name and form. You are a divine beacon of light. Yet that light needs some match to spark it. And that match to spark it is not just semen retention. Don't get it twisted. It's a path of self-mastery, which is, of course, a big part of it is semen retention, is celibacy. Because again, if your carnal mind, your compulsions can make you stuck in your carnal, animalistic states of existence, you make a buffer between you and that divine beacon of light that you've always meant to be. It's like oil and water, they don't mix. Hot and cold, they don't mix. Is hot bad? No. Is cold bad? No. None of them are evil, but it's up to you. Do you want to operate from the top down, or do you want to operate from the lower states? Because when you operate from the top down, you can go from the top all the way down. Keep sliding back and forth. Keep sliding back and forth from those stages of consciousness, aka the 7 chakras, if you want to call it that. When you are operating from the top, you can go down because there's less energy needed to go down. But if you're stuck in the bottom, you need that energy to push past the barriers, push past the lid, push past the overall barricades that are put up by the propaganda, by the programming of this material world that makes you a slave to your senses, that makes you a slave to your own instincts. You are self-sabotaging yourself by the mechanisms of the matrix, of the Maya, of the illusion. But when you finally start to peer past this, by going down this path of self-mastery, by practicing semen retention, by practicing celibacy, you start to shred away the nonsense. You start to snap off the shackles that are bogging you down to your lower states of existence, and now you finally start to walk in true alignment with the divine. You walk in true alignment or union or yoga. That's what yoga means. It ain't fucking just stretching. Union with the divine. You start walking in yoga and union with your higher self. And no amount of cars, clothes, money, or hoes can ever suffice to that. This is a priceless thing. It got no price tag to it. Yet it does have a price tag to it. It has a cost that you must pay, and that is the path of self-mastery. So do you want to wear the designer, the divine designer, or do you want to just keep shopping at these fucking thrift stores, the used clothes, the used equipment? Do you want to get that fresh drip, that divine drip, that divine nectar? Or do you just want to be subjugated to lower level desires, to animalistic desires? This is why you must understand the real reason behind retaining your seed. A lot of these YouTubers will come on here and tell you, oh man, because you're gonna get that benefit and this benefit and that benefit, all these girls are gonna be flocking. Fuck that, man, fuck that. I'm telling you what it is. I'm not telling you what you wanna hear. I've been on this journey. I've been on this path. I've tasted that divine nectar from this overall journey, this ascent, this ascending path to the right hand of self-realization. I'm not there yet. I'm documenting this journey, hopefully giving y'all some game, some sauce for your motherfucking brain, so you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame. You dig what I'm saying? Helping you guys ascend by the struggles that I've gone through. I'll be the guinea pig for self-mastery. I'm not telling you everything I'm saying to do is the right path for you, but what I'm saying is understanding to get on this whole journey of self-mastery will streamline your process to your higher self, to your higher potential, mentally, physically, and spiritually speaking. Semen retention amplifies and accelerates that more than anything that you can imagine. We have a whole video talking about how long-term celibacy becomes a psychedelic-like experience. And I'm not saying, oh man, you see colors and fucking rainbows and shit like that. No. What I'm saying is, when you're on this path, you start to lose that filter that is clouding your vision of what reality really is. That is clouding your vision to making you stuck to just operating in the carnal mind. When you start to get away from that filter, you start to actually clear away the clouds. You actually start to see clearly of the vision. You start to realize, damn, there's so much more to this life than just survival, sex, and status. There's so much more that I can enjoy, that I can experience, that will give me true fulfillment, not just a little dopamine spike of fun. True fulfillment, which is a state of existence rather than an emotion that comes and goes from external things. External things like money, car, clothes, and hoes, they come and go like the wind. But the true state of existence, that spiritual ecstasy that you receive by being in alignment with your Dharma, by being in alignment with the path that the universe, that God has designed you to be on, is something that cannot be expressed in words. It's only experienced through self-hand, first-hand, direct knowledge. This is gnosis. This is not some shit that you'll find online. This is not some shit that you'll find in a book. Stuff like this online might give you a little guidepost, a little reminder, a little redirection to get back on the path, tell you what it's like on the other side. But until you go on the other side, you won't understand. Matter of fact, you won't understand, man. You won't understand this shit. That's why you gotta look at celibacy and semen retention differently than some of these bozos, than some of these fucking clowns. Oh man, I'm just gonna go 90 days and fucking no fab, no nut November. Dude, let go of that. And I don't blame you for being that, because that's what's mainstream. But I'm giving you all the real deal ancient wisdom, the esoteric science of self-mastery to help you ascend. If you just ascend on the mental, physical, you always still feel unfulfilled, because the soul, how it's fed, how it's nourished, ain't the same as just fucking drinking water and eating food. It ain't the same as emotions like your brain. It's fed by Dharma. That's the diet it fucking needs. And that Dharma is your duty. It is what you're naturally brought here to do. That is blocked, that is disconnected from you when you operate in these degenerate states of consciousness. There's no reason why this matrix, why this Maya, why this illusionary world will do whatever it takes to deter you from that path. Because once you find that path, once you correlate and connect with that Dharma, nothing's gonna stop you. Nothing can be that more enticing than it is to be in a dance with the divine. no amount of material things. And it's not about disconnecting and detaching from material things, but not making that the pedestal. Aim high and let everything else fall into line. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else shall be given unto you. That's a Bible verse right there. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Seek ye first the God within you. And that's cracked open by actually first correlating on the path of your Dharma, which requires, let's take it another step back, self-mastery. Which requires, let's take it another step back, you to be in control of your sexual energy. This is one of the most powerful forms of energy, if not the most powerful form of energy. Form of prana, if you want to call it that. I'm not talking about nuclear energy and shit like that. This is cosmic energy. This is prana that you have access to as a man. This prana has the power to create another human being. It's the only reason you're here. It's the only reason I'm here. So you wasting that on a couple seconds of pleasure disconnects your ability to create that gateway back to Godhood. Anything that you put your mind to, any intent that you have intelligently focused in on when it comes to semen retention and celibacy amplifies. If you're angry, you're going to be a fucking super angry person. If you're a blissful person, you're going to be a super blissful version. It amplifies everything because you are now taking spiritual energy, spiritual force, life force energy, vril. We can call this ojas. We can call this shakti. We can call this whatever you want, chi, ki. You're taking that from the spiritual plane and you're infusing into the material world. This has a bang to it, man. A bang. And if you truly want to see yourself ascend, spiritually speaking, focus on your spiritual growth while practicing semen retention, while practicing celibacy, while rounding everything else out in alignment to help you on that path. The stuff that we talk about on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community. Man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. I want you to take a little pause right now, my guy. Go take a good fucking look in the mirror. Study it. Study that person that's staring right back at you, that's staring right into your soul. That person, you're doing him, not me, the guy that's staring right back at you in the motherfucking mirror, a huge disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community. Because if you're truly serious about this path of self-mastery that will lead to true self-realization, you are missing out on all the game and all the sauce that we're dropping over there on the private Patreon community. I'm talking about exclusive videos that you're not going to find here on this channel, on the main channel, matter of fact, anywhere else on the internet. There's some real deal game, real deal sauce. Breaking down the esoteric science of self-mastery. Breaking down ancient texts. Breaking down esoteric wisdom. Breaking down the occult teachings of the past. And making them practicalized in the modern day so you can actually apply them. Along with that, we got full guides, in-depth occult lectures, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you get access to our private group chat where we host our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, 2 live calls each and every single month, bi-weekly. Come on, man, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Where you hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men on this path of self-mastery who are also using celibacy, who are also using semen retention as a tool to transcend beyond the lower states of consciousness in order to propel them to their highest potential. This is a community where we want to see you elevate. This is a community where we want to see you liberate, holding you accountable on this pathway to ascension. If you want to be surrounded with people like that, you want to get access to all this real deal game, real deal sauce. Check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video, man, because I promise you, the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you, my guy. I assure you that. That's a guarantee. So if you want more information about that, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video, because within the pinned comment of this video, you'll also find other links to the other services I provide, such as application forms for my personalized coaching program. If you're trying to work with me personally, one-on-one, to help you detox, to help you disintegrate, to help you detach from all the degenerate bullshit that is blocking you from finding out what that Dharma is, whether it be mental blocks, whether it be physical blocks, whether it be spiritual blocks. Tap in with that, man. This is what it's all about. The path of self-mastery, disintegrating, dissolving your karmas in order to discover your dharma, and in order to discover what's the path that will lead you to true fulfillment in life. If you're really trying to work with me one-on-one, you're someone that's truly serious about that, post an application form, apply for it. We'll see if the criteria meets the qualifications for the program in itself. There's links to the consultation calls if you're trying to book a call with me one time to discuss anything that you're dealing with, to help you redirect yourself back on the right track towards your dharma. Tap in with that. We got weekly newsletters, free community Discord server, all that good stuff. Again, post in the pinned comment of this video. Make sure you go run it up. But like I was saying, the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, on the main channel, especially on the private Patreon community, especially within my personalized coaching program, are all tools, all tips, all techniques, are all weapons to help you snip away at the dead weight that is deterring you from you actually being able to elevate. Dead weight ain't gonna let you elevate. And one of the biggest dead weight, one of the biggest karmic bogs or ties is a tie to sex. There's a reason why they give you porn for free. There's a reason why they push hookup culture on you, because it's one of the most stimulating feelings that you can ever have. Your sexual experiences. It's so stimulating, you lose yourself in it. It's a drug. And it's not an evil drug. It's a reason for it. But if you're just doing it to cope, if you're just doing it for pleasure, if you're just doing it with no real purpose, you become addicted to that drug. And you come back to it over and over and over and over. Instead of you having sex, the sex is having you. Instead of you smoking weed, the weed is smoking you. Instead of you drinking alcohol, the alcohol is drinking you. You are a bitch. You are a slave to it. You are a slave to your senses. As someone who is a slave, mentally and psychologically and physically speaking, can never tap into the spiritual. The physical and the mental, or the physical and psychological, must be aligned to open that gateway to the divine. Some bars out here, man. Some real deal gang. They open up the bridge. You start to ascend up Jacob's ladder to the place where you'll find the God within you. And that God within you will provide the guide within you that will lead you to a life of glory. You might think that you know what you want in life. I promise you, take all that shit, crumple it up, throw it away. Detach from that. That's ego. That's expectations. That's the programming of society infiltrating your mind, making it believe that you want this, this, and that. What if I told you that the divine has a much better plan for you? You just got to stick with it. It's got the whole formula laid out for you. You just got to enter the kitchen, put the ingredients together, follow the steps, and you'll have the best meal in your life. Stop trying to add on shit. Stop trying to do it yourself. There is a higher essence to you that knows exactly why it's here. How do you connect to that? You spiritually ascend. How do you spiritually ascend? You purify the mind. You unlock the mind. You purify the body through the path of self-mastery. You master the self. You unlock the book of wisdom, the book of gnosis that is inscribed within your heart that will lead you to your higher aspirations. And you might be thinking, bro, what the fuck does semen retention celibacy really have to do with all that? Like I said, if you're stuck to just eating food, to just surviving, to just wanting sex, to just wanting status, you close that door to the divine. It's not because these things are evil, oh man, they're demonic. No, it's because you have decided that that's all I want. These are so addicting that if you remain stuck in them, they automatically close the door on you. That's why you must consciously rise above and ascend beyond it in order for you to open up the door and see what the fuck else is there for you, man. This is what things like psychedelics do for you. Disconnect you from the absorption of the material world and show you, man, there's much more to this life than you can't see. We can only actually be able to register 2% of this electrical magnetic spectrum of life. You're telling me that 98% you don't want to explore? You're telling me you don't want to explore? That's just the external world. What if I told you there's a whole internal world that comes with a lot more pleasure, a lot more bliss than any of this bullshit can truly give you? And I'm not trying to downplay the material world. I love the material world. But what I'm saying is if you make this your true state of pleasure, you're never going to truly be able to see what's beyond this, because you're only here for a temporary time. This is not permanent. This is a costume, an avatar that you're using for the time being. What are you using it for? That's for you to find out. That's called the Dharma. In order for you to find what that is, you must go beyond just the wants and needs of this. If this is controlling you, guess what? The brain and body is just going to force you to do the things that satisfies it. But if you learn to go beyond it, make it work for you, make it listen to you, tame it, make it a domesticated animal rather than a wild beast, then that's where you'll find it. That's why semen retention, that's why celibacy is so powerful. It's not because of all the benefits, it's not because of all the fucking women attraction that you'll get, magnetism, your aura, this, that's not what it is. This breaks the bonds, it breaks the chains of Maya, of the illusion. It makes you be able to see past the sea of nonsense, the sea of samsara, the sea of the cycle of reincarnation. It keeps you stuck over and over and over and over and over again within this existence, blocking off your exit path to the etheric realms, the angelic kingdom, where you were really brought here to abide in, the pure abodes. It allows you to see past that now. Not because how much fucking semen you have in your fucking nutsack. It's not because of that. It's because you have now tamed that state of consciousness. It's now not controlling you. You're controlling it. Do you want to indulge in it? Totally fine, go for it. But when it's all compulsion, when it's all reactionary, when it's all just puppet strings pulling you, making you act in certain ways, and the promiscuity and the propaganda and the programming society just playing upon it, come on now, man. Are you truly the one in charge? Are you truly a master of yourself? Because that's the only thing you can master. You can't master the material world. You can't master the matrix. You can't master the Maya, but you can master yourself. You can be the one who's dictating where your car goes, where your vehicle goes, where your mind goes. But that takes time, that takes effort, that takes time for you to actually break the shackles that keep you in the passenger seat of life, that keep you a slave to whoever else is driving, which is the programming, which is the conditioning, which is your karmas. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down, man? This is a banger right here, man. This is a banger fucking video. A banger video. And look, if you are struggling on this path, I totally understand it. It's fucking not easy. But if you haven't tapped into the Art of Retention ebook yet, you're doing yourself a disservice once again. Because within there, man, we are breaking out all the details you need in order to succeed on semen retention. If you have not tapped in with it yet, just go on the main channel. Not Fulati Fitness no more, but the Philosopher. Just type in on YouTube, how to succeed on semen retention. You'll find a full video guide breaking out all the details you need. And within that full video guide, you have access to the link that will get you the Art of Retention ebook, which goes even more in depth and more in detail than the video can. And look, if you're dyslexic, you're retarded, you can't fucking read, your boys got you covered with a full audio series on the Art of Retention ebook. Just go on, again, the main channel, the Philosopher, not Fulati Fitness no more. We've already fucking transferred over. If you know, you know. If you don't know, now you know. Go on playlists. Find the Art of Retention audio series. Pop it in while you're driving. Pop it in while you're walking. Pop it in while you just go about your day. Get up on some motherfucking game, so you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame. You dig what I'm saying? How much longer do you want to be a slave to your senses? How much longer do you want to be a slave to survival? How much longer do you want to be a slave to sex? How much longer do you want to be a slave to status? Tell me. you wouldn't be watching this video for this fucking long. Because like I said, the people that watch this channel, What the Fulati, we're out here in the field, in the flesh, no cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking game, off the dome, off the rip. You guys are more psychologically and spiritually matured than the masses. Am I saying that you're better than anyone? Absolutely not. Am I saying that you're a chosen one? Absolutely not. This is not a new age spiritual channel where the AC-130 right now is over me. I back to what I was saying. The feds were just flowing over me. If you know, you know. Every time I speak facts, the feds is on my ass. Pause, man. Pause. Hold up. Pause. But if you actually want to start seeing what resides beyond just those lower states of consciousness, and you actually want to ascend to those levels, and you no longer want to be a slave to everything, this is the path for you. You cannot waste this incarnation where you are able to actually understand and grasp these deeper level concepts. Again, you are not better than anyone. You're not a chosen one because you watch this channel. Fuck no, this is not a new age spiritual movement shit. You just have been gifted with something by God to be able to correlate to this message. You cannot waste that. In self-help, we call people that just watch video after video after video and do no action in their life mental masturbators. I'm calling you, motherfucker. Yes, you. I'm calling you out right now. The people that just listen to this, like, oh man, he's fucking, that's great, man. Wow, awesome. And don't apply this, that's called spiritual masturbation. You're a spiritual masturbator. Because you got the wisdom, you got the knowledge, you got the gnosis. All you need to put it into play, put it into motion. And look, if the audio series, if the Art of Attention ebook, if the full video guide isn't enough, and you're looking for more guidance, you're looking for more support along this journey to ascend spiritually, tap in with all the other services that I mentioned. Tap in with the Philosopher's Circle. Join into our private group chat. Hop into our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Get up on all the sauce, the game, the exclusive content that we got cooking up over there. Shoot an application form for my personalized coaching program if you're trying to work with me one-on-one. We'll really break things down. Know what I'm saying? Book a one-on-one consultation. All that stuff is right there for you. All you need to do now is put it all together. Because if you truly want to see yourself accelerate on this whole journey towards spiritual liberation, if you want to accelerate in order to liberate, if you want to accelerate in order to elevate, there's no excuse now. Absolutely no excuse now. Unless you just want to be called a spiritual masturbator for the rest of your motherfucking life. Let this stuff marinate in your mind. Let this soak in your motherfucking psyche. This path of semen retention and this practice of celibacy is so much more powerful for this overall evolution of your consciousness than you might even realize. You need to first have a first-hand experience to understand what I'm saying. But let this be a nice kick in the ass to get you started. There it is, man. Let's end it off right there. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out that game so you guys can make these gains. I'm out of here. Peace.